Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team here in Tampa Bay. We're a top team. We're also hiring. We're looking for great agents that may want to join our team. We are with Livian Coastal Elite now. Livian is a very unique, kind of a Rolex version of Keller Williams. Awesome technology, systems, all of the best. Latest cutting edge technologies in the system that we have, and we're actually bringing on a couple of teams underneath our vertical right now too. So if you have an interest in hearing more about that, we'd love to talk to you. Reach out to the hotline 727-263-3707. You can call or text our hotline 727-263-3707, and online at consumerqb.com. And we got Alex Lima in studio. Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts, back in studio. Alex, we're going to cover some of these current events, and also, of course, with Title 42 ending and this southern border being open, more crime activity, more gang activity, drugs, a lot of rapes going on at the southern border, a lot of bad stuff happening down there, man. So now it's important more now than ever to have that self-defense, knowledge.
Yeah, I mean it's always been important, but now I think there's going to be an influx of people going like, what, and stepping it up. And fortunately and unfortunately, it's not too late, but we should have been thinking about this beforehand. Preparation and making sure you're all set up is better than you want to be more preemptive than reactive in things, right? It's because it's a little late when they're at the front door kicking your door in, wanting to do bad things, to go, oh man, I should have trained firearms. Oh, I should have had cameras on my house.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's a little late.
Yeah, absolutely. So this Texas mall shooter, I want to jump into that story first. So Texas mall shooter removed from Army in 2008 over mental health issues. So this is a story out of the, I think it might have been the AP or something, but it was talking about, this 33-year-old who allegedly opened fire in that mall shooting. He was removed from the Army due to mental health concerns. And so you don't really hear Biden and these other, leftist, Marxist, globalists. They don't come out and say, oh, we need to investigate more with medical, the pharmaceutical industries, all these different drugs that kids are on, and these different lithiums, and or maybe something around the video games, these really graphic video games and movies with war and all these different scenes, and running over the prostitutes in your cars, right? Grand Theft Auto, and you don't really hear much about the other. The other issues relating to mental health. Hey, we need more mental health in this country. They go right directly to the gun.
Yeah. It's always, and I'm always going to be an advocate for this. It is a people problem, not a firearm is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is a best way I can describe it, and Thomas describes it as this as well. It is a force enhancer, multiplier. Okay. So let's take this for example. You have a 70-year-old woman that lives alone in an apartment.
Yeah.
And a crackhead kicks in her door because he wants to steal her TV.
Yep.
What is she supposed to do? She's supposed to stand up and box this guy?
Right, exactly.
She's supposed to dial 911? No, it's not going to work. Let's get fast forward, right? But if she has a firearm, now she has a force multiplier.
Exactly.
So she may not be able to box this guy or jiu-jitsu him up.
Yep.
But she can pull out something that can get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's it. It is a tool, like any other tool.
Playing field.
That's it.
Yep.
And as far as like where people, I mean, I can go on and on all day about the Second Amendment and stuff like that.
Right.
It's incredible to me. Anybody that is anti firearm and weapons, I just want I want to challenge you to do this. Look up the history of any society,
right,
that has banned weapons.
Yep.
How did that work out for them?
Yep. And Australia was the most recent one last year. Remember that one?
Yeah.
With the COVID lockdowns, the Chinese virus lockdowns. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And by the way, if you really feel that strongly about protecting lives, maybe we should rethink this whole automobile thing. There's how many automobile accidents per year, right? It's one of the leading causes of death.
What about cigarettes? Why are they legal?
Yeah, exactly.
Why? I mean,
where do we draw the line, right? At what point do you get, like, sometimes the family member says, "Oh, I just wish my insert aunt, uncle, brother would stop smoking." You ever think they don't want to stop smoking? Maybe they're okay with dying 10 years early, or maybe it's 15 years early, but they want to enjoy a cigarette. If they want,
Well, and it's addictive. It's an addictive property. It's
Yeah.
a chemical, and then it leads to other things, which then big pharma can get involved and get you on treatment, and it just keeps creating more and more of a money stream. It's a scam. It's a scam, and then they play
Yeah.
with people's lives.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's the Texas mall shooter, the mental health issues, right? And by the way, all of these shooters, most of these shooters, had some type of a mental health issue. They were kicked out of the school, or they had, and a lot of times too, the police were alerted, like, hey, this person did this, and they never acted on it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's my thing. I got to further investigate that Texas one because I only know some of like how it occurred and how the results would happen in the end. But if you know there's a mental health issue and they're red flagged, their weapons need to be confiscated, man. Like
Yeah.
that you should automatically. I mean, there are people. We take away licenses from people that can't drive because they're potentially going to crash into people because they can't see anymore. They can't do things anymore. You got a mental health issue and you are deemed. Look, if you were discharged from the military because you had a mental health issue,
Yeah,
you got an issue.
yeah.
That's documented. That is medically documented. Then you no longer are you. In my opinion, you lose the right to then have a firearm to protect
The
yourself.
one thing you'll hear some people, gun advocates say, or people say about uh, the red flag laws, is that it gets into a situation sometimes with a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife situation.
Sure.
She'll call the police. Oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. Oh, we're all of a sudden gonna jump the gun now, and it's not that presumption of innocence. It's the presumption of guilty. That's at least a counter argument from what I hear.
But so for that argument though, that would initiate someone being investigated and looked into,
Mhm.
right? That this person's crazy. They're going to do something that says that you need to look into that.
Yep.
They can't. It's not. It could be an empty threat, but we need to find out what's up with there.
Yep.
But when you have somebody documented, they're
Right.
mentally unstable. That's different.
I
That's
get
not
it.
a red flag. That is like, dude, this is something here.
Understood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That definitely needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We got an interesting story too last week. Brett Favre calls for boycott of Fox News. I'm with Tucker. I think a lot of people are with Tucker right now, and they're just saying, "Hey, look, man, this guy was the one." And of course, there's a couple other good ones on Fox. I like Hannity and some of these some of the things with Hannity, but there's some good ones. But if you look at this is an interesting story though. So Brett Favre was golfing at his celebrity foursome with the American championship that he had in this golf course in Madison, Wisconsin. But he says he's calling for a boycott of Fox News in the wake of its sudden sidelining of primetime host Tucker Carlson's subsequent revelation that the media giant is working to silence him after the 2024 election. He says, quote, "I'm with Tucker. Time to boycott Fox until they come to their senses and let the man speak." What's your thoughts on that?
My thing is, I wonder because he was a true speaker. He still is. I'm not saying was, but on Fox, Tucker was a true speaker there. How much was he actually filtered? How much truth was he not? Did they cut him off from even saying and getting out? Because now he's releasing that he knew things about, and he wasn't allowed to say on
That's
air.
a good
So,
point. Yeah.
there's even more truth out there. And to be honest, I almost fear for his safety because you know how these guys are.
Yeah.
Once you get somebody that's quote unquote a whistleblower,
Yep.
they start finding ways to attack.
Yeah, exactly. They utilize lawfare now. They call it like warfare, but law.
Yeah.
They'll file frivolous suits or
Yeah, they find ways
just
to
like
put
they're
pressure
doing-
on you. They
just
put
like they're
pressure.
doing with Rittenhouse. They went after him. He won his criminal case.
Yeah.
And then they're going after him civilly now. The other thing about Fox too, if you look at their kind of movement towards the left. They were one of the first ones. If you think back to the election, they called Arizona very early. I don't know if you remember that, but it was like very early on. Oh, Joe Biden's the winner of Arizona. They called it very early to start that snowball
trickle
effect. Yeah, that snowball effect. That was one of the things that really stuck out to me as well. But yeah, a lot of people are banking on people coming back to that network before the primaries heat up, is what the article goes on to say.
Yeah, this is very interesting because now Tucker with Twitter will be up and running prior to the new elections.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have a new platform. And Tucker's he's the pioneer. He's
Yeah.
the first one breaking through in this new news outlet.
Could be huge.
How many
man.
people want to speak the truth are going to
Yeah.
then jump ship? Because I imagine that everybody that is a journalist or gets into that field initially, they go in with like good intentions. I believe
Right.
that. Nobody goes to school and is like, I just want to write lies for propaganda. They don't do that. They want to be truth sayers, right? And then they get into these career fields and they realize, man, I can't speak the truth. I'm restricted
Yep.
in how much truth I can let out.
Right.
So now you have a potential outlet that you don't have to hold back. You can speak the truth.
Yeah.
I think this could be really great for us, man.
Yeah.
It could be bad as well, but I'm gonna go on the side of positivity.
I think it's
This
going to
could
be positive.
really great.
Yeah.
We can actually speak truth and hear actual truth now.
And I like what they said about the community notes. So they're going to have community notes. If there's a post that's maybe leaving out a fact or maybe just a little bit misleading or kind of a half truth, they have community notes that says, hey, this is what they actually feel, or whatever they think that it should say is kind of a checker, and then people can vote it up, thumbs down. You can kind of get a feel for, hey, a lot of people said this one was a negative or a positive. So I kind of think that's kind of interesting too, rather than just censoring, cutting them out, pulling them off, just like they did so many conservatives, Charlie Kirk and the like. And also Joe Rogan comes to mind, because you remember with Rogan, he was primarily, I think he was on YouTube, and then he signed that deal with Spotify. What was it, $100 million deal, something like that?
Yeah, something
big deal. And then you got other people too that are starting out. They'll start out their live stream on YouTube and Rumble at the same time, and they'll say, "Hey, now Russell Brand, for example, hey, now after like 10 minutes of the teaser, we're moving over to our Rumble channel,
right,
where we can really say what we want to say."
Yeah, they're using the one platform to funnel you towards a platform where we can truly speak now.
Yeah,
can turn the filters off and it's actually talk now.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good to see where it's moving, and at least there's free speech there, because when you look at most posts on certain sites, like even LinkedIn, for example. I was looking at a post this morning. The way that they word things, just like the CNN town hall last night or a couple nights ago with Trump. The way that moderator or host, Caitlin, would say things to Trump and interject, "Oh no, Mr. President, that's been proven wrong." How many of those proven wrong? How many of those did we find out later on? Oh, it was actually right.
Yeah, exactly. You're a conspiracy theorist until, hey, guess what?
Until proven
it's not a conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually have a similar scenario of that going on right now. I mean, I just got certified. I've been training hand-to-hand stuff for a long time, and I've been doing Florida, going through Florida Firearms, been doing weapons training firearms training for a very long time now, many years, and then I got certified USCCA to start teaching concealed carry and home defense, right?
Yep.
So all I did was make a simple post of like an advertisement, letting people know that I offer this now on top of my other training, that I can teach concealed. I'm certified to teach concealed carry and home defense. I got blacklisted by Meta.
Oh,
I'm fighting them right now for it. They're like, no, we had to pull your post because it's literally just a picture, man, of my brand and then like two firearms and stuff at the range, so nothing crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, no, we don't. You go against community whatever standards and guidelines because you're promoting false promoting violence and firearm. I'm like, it clearly states that I'm teaching defense, home
self-defense.
Yeah.
The communists don't care. Communists don't care. That's how they roll, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. More with Alex Lima, Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Coming back, we're going to touch on Bud Light's significant drop in sales, and also Coors and the other brands that are actually climbing due to the transgender push unfortunately through some of these major corporations and global corporations, that is. Also Title 42 open southern border and self-defense coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, in studio with Alex Lima, with Black Belt Fitness and Martial Arts, self-defense expert. And wanted to jump into a couple of these current events, different stories happening. I'm going to go to a quick clip here.
As the U.S. braces for the official end of Title 42 this week, the southern border has already seen a surge in illegal immigration.
Daily Wire reporter Tim Pierce is here to discuss. So, Tim, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was down at the border just last week. How did his trip go?
That's right. Mayorkas went to the southern tip of Texas last week to check on Border Patrol operations in the Rio Grande Valley sector. This trip comes ahead of Title 42's repeal on Thursday, and that's widely expected to set off a surge of illegal crossings. In a press conference Friday, Mayorkas pleaded with immigrants camping across the border to reconsider.
Yeah, so he's going to plead with them to reconsider after they've already sent all the signals for months and years now of, come on across. And like Trump said in that debate last night, he talked about splitting the family. They always want to throw these these leftist liberals want to say, oh, well, you're splitting families up at the border. Yeah, if we tell them that we're going to split the families up, they're not going to bring the families, or they're not going to bring the kids or whatever,
Less
right?
likely to try to,
But if we say it the opposite way and say, oh, yeah, sure, no, we won't do that, they're going to come.
yeah,
it's just common
there's no
sense.
there's no negative repercussion.
Yeah.
There's no negative. Oh, we mean we don't get in trouble. You don't send us back. Sure.
Yeah.
Let me in. I'm in.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's unbelievable that Mayorkas has not been impeached yet. I don't know if they don't want to waste the time or the political capital on that. But yeah, you think about we talked about the other day too with the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. They're friends of the program. It's been a while since we've had them on the show, but we had John Long on, and just some of the statistics that they would go through of the human trafficking that would happen, the gang activity, the crime, of course, increase. And I saw, I've seen the different sheriffs on some of the other shows talking about, just the sheer overwhelm that they have. They do not have enough help at the border.
Yeah, and those are all like, those are strong sources. But then remember, not too long ago, we went to that talk that it was Sebastian Gorka, Officer Tatum, Ted Cruz, and those guys there. And like Cruz had actually been down there.
Yep.
So we got a firsthand account of what he saw down there. That whole thing with the rape tree and stuff and everything. Remember those talks? Like,
Yeah.
dude, this stuff is for real, and people don't get it. And then what the leftists do and the propaganda machine, what they do
Yep.
is they find this one little niche part that sounds really, really bad
Yep.
and attack that one part. But there's a
Soundbite.
bigger picture here. It's not about it's not that we don't want people to do better, man. So yeah, a lot of people, they want to leave the bad countries, we'll say bad countries, right?
Yep.
Because they want a better chance for their family. I
Sure.
get that.
Yep.
I come from a bloodline of people that came to this country, as we all did.
Everybody
if we're
did
being real,
at some point. Yep.
But we did it the right way,
Right.
And then here's the deal: our nation, best nation in the world. Okay.
Yep.
We got some issues right now.
Yep.
All right, we have some things we don't really have enough. And in my house, if I have only limited amount of food and room for people,
Yep.
I can't just have my door wide open
Exactly.
for people to just walk in,
Yeah.
because then I will not have food for myself and my family.
Yep.
I will not have room in my house, and then I'm out.
Yep.
You know?
Jobs, the same thing. So
Everything.
this goes to jobs. This goes to that downward pressure on wages. It goes to just the fact that if you don't have sovereignty as a nation, you don't have a nation. So unfortunately, we'll see how.
And
that
it goes
plays out.
beyond that too, because it's not just the good people that want a better life that are coming through. Okay, it is
Oh, yeah.
bad people coming through as well.
Yeah,
And then on
exactly.
top of that, these governments from these countries will purposefully dump their criminals
Yes.
on us. They don't want to deal with them anymore. They don't want them in jail systems
Yep.
anymore. I mean, look at the Mariel Harbor in Cuba. That's what they did. Mexico's, a lot
Yep.
of places have done it. They take the riffraff and the trash and the bad.
Yep.
And we don't want it no more. We want it out of Mexico. We
That's
want it
right.
out of wherever, Bolivia, wherever it is. Here you go. Your problem now. No,
That's right.
That's wrong, man. That's
Yeah.
messed up.
It really is, Alex. So the next story is this Bud Light backlash hits more beer. So it's interesting. I love this story because, of course, you heard about their transgender social media influencer, this Dylan guy. But anyways, Bud Light sales sank 21.4% in the 4 weeks ending April 29. Also, losing ground, Budweiser down 11.4%. Mick Ultra 4.4% as well. Now, some other companies seem to have a rise. And lo and behold, Coors, one of the competitors, Coors is up almost 11%. And also Miller Lite climbed 12.8%. So it's easy just to switch your beer. They all taste about the same to me.
Well, there's a substantial difference, I think. But Bud Light to me has always been water impersonating beer, anyways.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
and dirty like toilet water, anyways.
Yeah.
Not a fan, just so we're clear. But yeah, dude, exactly. It's so funny how for some things, again, that propaganda machine. What makes me more mad than the Bud Light portion of that is the Nike sponsorship.
Yeah.
Did you see that one? That same person,
Oh.
whatever they want to be referred to as,
Yep.
okay, got a deal from Nike, which I don't know Nike's anymore.
Yeah. Me neither.
To be a advocate for sports bras.
Sports bras. I did see that. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Listen, you know what I also don't understand? Why aren't more women outraged about
Exactly.
this? It seems like we tend to be like the
feminists.
men are more like, listen, it's not a anti phobic thing or nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's that this is just craziness that needs to stop.
It's biblical truth. I was having a conversation with somebody about this the other day. As Christians, when we start allowing our truth to become, and that's the popular phrase for these kids today. Oh, it's my truth, right? No, you don't get your truth. There's one truth, and it's biblical. It's the 10 Commandments. It's what the Bible says, the Torah, Jesus. There's one truth. And the truth is, when your pronouns get in the way and you try to change my language because I got to call you this or that or these different things, you're trying to change systemically the language that people use. And that's wrong. You can't cross that line. And it's not only that, but it's these corporations. And the big thing is, it's corporations with government now. You got the governments and the corporations colluding together to utilize the propaganda, and also the anti-whiteness and this anti-fragility, all this different stuff, anti-racism, which is exact opposite. You ever find out that it's the exact opposite when you look at these things? The Inflation Reduction Act, right?
Exactly.
No, that only caused more inflation.
It's an oxymoron. They're using these terms wrong. We're like, oh, just because you speak utilizing a big word doesn't mean it's an intelligent word. Doesn't mean it's intelligent.
Yeah.
And you'll find that a lot of these things are oxymorons. They're the reverse of what they're trying to say.
And it's a misdirection. It's a misdirection play.
Like one huge one real quick is the whole the non-binary thing.
Yeah.
By definition, if you claim to be non-binary, you are acknowledging that there is a binary system.
There's two,
So then, therefore, it's still binary.
It's ridiculous, dude.
You know.
So what can you do, right? So there's a couple things, like Public Square is an app where you can find conservative type companies that believe in the country and love our country. Patriot Mobile is one of our sponsors, Patriot Mobile. There's also secondvote.com, Second Vote, Salem Media.
We're one of the only ones now that actually are speaking from that conservative perspective.
Salem Radio, support the show host, Dennis Prager, Charlie Kirk, everybody, on this show, Mike Gallagher, what a great lineup. Brandon Tatum does a great job in the evenings. Yeah, supporting the station.
The Daily Wire, their app, have you looked into that? I don't know if you have it. I pay the subscription for their app now.
Nice.
Completely worth it. They're coming out with kids shows and stuff too, with no woke agenda.
Nice.
That's like the only thing I'm going to be watching with my kid now.
Right. That's awesome, man. Yeah. I love that. Well, awesome, man. How do you want people to connect with you, Alex?
You can always call me, 813-426-1588. You can find me online at BlackBelt_fitness, and you can also always call the show. Check us out on the show. Always love being on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
That's right. ConsumerQB.com, online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram, Twitter, at CQB Show. And please go out there, consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback.